There we go. Perfect. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode, a very exciting episode of HPCritical's Does It Hold Up? I am your host, Brandon, and I am joined by returning guest, my friend, and Star Fox 64 superfan himself, the one, the only, Abram Buehner.
Hey everybody.
Dude, I'm very excited. I'm very
Me
excited
too.
because this episode, this game here, man. All right, let me back up because we're doing another N64 game tonight, and it's a one that's very near and dear to my heart. It's one of the very first games I got for the system when I got it years ago when I was but a wee little lad back in New York. And that game tonight is Star Fox 64. Now, if you guys remember from season 2 of Does It Hold Up, Abram was with me when we played Star Fox and Star Fox 2 for the Super Nintendo. And you know, we had our thoughts that we said about those games. We saw how the formula of those games what eventually would lead into like later games in the series, you know, kind of build off that formula in a way. But that really was just a prelude for what we have today. And
Yes.
when we did that episode, we weren't even aware that N64 games were going to be necessarily coming to the Switch. I mean, we hoped, but we didn't know. And now here it is. It's led into this. I'm just so excited. Before I say like any more of my experiences, Abram, like tell the people your history of Star Fox 64 and why you love it so much before we even get into the nitty gritty of
Sure.
like the game.
Yeah, so Star Fox 64 is one of, if not my favorite game of all time. But I kind of came at it from a weird angle, right? Because by the
Mm-hmm.
time I was growing up, Star Fox had basically completely fallen out of favor. This was,
Right.
I was really growing up in the Wii era, so no Star Fox there to speak of.
Sure.
The first Star
Yeah.
Fox game I was excited for that was to release then was Star Fox Zero, which is not, it's an okay game. I think Star Fox Zero is totally fine.
Agreed.
But I was actually a Star Fox fan before that because I was a huge fan of Smash Brawl. And in
Yes.
Smash Brawl, there was the Masterpiece mode, which was basically a bunch of
Ooh.
demos for classic Nintendo titles, and one of them was Star Fox 64, and through that, you could basically play Corneria. And
Yes.
so
Yes.
I played Corneria a bunch, came to really enjoy the game, but didn't have any money to get it for myself. But by happenstance, Christmas 2011 comes around. I get a 3DS for Christmas, like a joint gift from my grandparents and my parents, and with it, I end up getting Star Fox 64 3D as one of the games.
Ooh.
And from there, I kind of fell in love with the game that way, put it a lot on 3DS, have since purchased it on N64 on cart, and that's my preferred way to play, but I'm also a humongous Star Wars fan, so this game really is a blatant homage to Star Wars in a lot of ways. So
Yeah.
it's this perfect convergence of my love of Star Wars, my love of Nintendo, just harmonizing with amazing gameplay driven experience, which is what I look for in my game. So 64 is dynamite. I love this game.
Dude, that is so interesting. That you have a very unique history with the game itself because you
Yeah,
know you're speaking about like you know by that point you know you said you grew up with it during the Wii era, so it was you know at that point an older game. I wouldn't say it was quite retro at that point just yet, but it was definitely an older game. But yeah,
for
the
sure.
masterpiece mode I think is a wonderful feature that I understand why it didn't come back in like later entries, but it was so good to really give you a sense of what these characters were from. Like, what was their games like? It did
Yeah.
more like Smash as it is already a series that shows off all these different characters and from all these different genres and whatnot, and have them all kind of clash together. But it's really helpful to have this feature that lets you see, you know, what kind of games they came from. And Star Fox, you know, I'm sure there's you know, I do think you still have a very unique perspective on this, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that got into Star Fox because they experienced it for
Definitely.
the first time in the masterpiece. Like, yeah, I think that's really cool that that was the case for you. And it's interesting that you know you fell in love with the series because of its like being Star Wars. For me, it was the opposite. I got into Star Fox first and enjoyed that game, and it's what kind of got me interested in the Star Wars franchise.
Cool.
Yeah, but around that time when I had first played it, the prequels hadn't even come out just yet because this game came out in '97. Phantom Menace would come out in '99, and I hadn't watched the original movies. I that This is a mini story of itself, but like the first time I saw the original trilogy, I didn't like them. I was too young to kind of really appreciate what they were
Yeah.
doing. And what's worse is I had started off Return of the Jedi, so you know I was confused.
Of
Like
course, yes.
I didn't have enough sense to like start from the beginning. I didn't know which one was the beginning, so I just saw, oh, Return of the Jedi. That sounds cool. What is going on? I don't understand this. And then Phantom Menace comes out, and usually when a movie comes out that my dad is interested in, he'll like ask me if I'm interested in seeing it with him. Phantom Menace is the one and only movie in my life that my dad did not give me a choice. He said, "Brandon, you're coming with me to see this movie because I
Yeah.
know you'll love it. You're coming with me." And I did, and I ended up liking Phantom Menace a lot at the time. I thought it was a very good film. And I saw the connections with it, with that and Star Fox. So the R Wing itself, of course, is based on the X Wing fighters. It's like literally X Wing R Wing. It's unapologetically based on Star Wars in many ways, just with anthropomorphic animals instead of humans and the various aliens. But yeah, no, this is a fantastic game. I guess we're kind of like spoiling a little bit. Let's be real. This is a doesn't hold up series, and not everything about this game is probably going to hold up perfectly, and that's something we'll definitely talk about after we've gotten a chance to play it, and we'll have our discussion on that for sure. But you can already tell based on our stories that we're going to come out of this game fairly positive. So we just want to get
Yeah.
that out of the way right now. Um, I don't think there's too much else to say. Star Fox is one of my all-time favorite series because of this game. I even like the ones that kind of veered off the path a little. I actually am a defender of adventures. I actually really like Star Fox Adventures. I love Assault. Command, I know a lot of people didn't like, but I actually really enjoyed the branching paths that game had. And like you said, I don't think Zero is a terrible game. I don't think it's a great game. It's like perfectly in the middle for me. I think it did some things good, and I think it did some things poorly. That's kind of where my stance on it is. No, I adore this series. Fox McCloud is one of my favorite Nintendo characters. When I found out Falco was in Melee, it was like one of the biggest moments of my life. Like,
Yeah.
so Abram, real quick, I know we're kind of rambling, but I don't get a chance to talk to you with Star Fox stuff, and I'm taking this opportunity. Damn it. So,
Of course.
so you played Melee, right? Did you play kind of like during the era it came out, or was that a little bit later for you?
No, again, it was like because I was born in 2000, so by the
Sure.
time I got a PS2. My parents got me a PS2, but almost basically concurrent to when the Wii was
Mm-hmm.
coming out and becoming popular. So the Wii was my first Nintendo system. So I played a ton of Brawl. I've retroactively played Melee. I think Melee is
Okay.
okay, but it was really Brawl that I cut my teeth on.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So let me tell you this really mini story real quick because I played Melee coming in as a fan of Star Fox already.
sure.
Smash 64 is what got me into all these like series. Like every character that I saw in Smash 64, I wanted their games and I ended up getting most of them. So I wasn't a Star Fox fan of 64. By the time of Melee, I freaking love Star Fox. So
Yeah.
I played, I played through the the event matches that they had in Melee, right? And there's this specific event match called oh god, now I can't remember. But it had both Fox and Falco invisible. Now the thing is, you didn't realize who the actual opponents were. I as a kid assumed that I was just fighting two foxes that were invisible. It even starts off with Slippy in a 64 saying, "How's the cloaking device I invented?" So I'm just fighting, and then I noticed something. Fox, when he does his like Firefox and Melee, he goes like "Waya!" right?
Yeah.
But then I noticed that one of the opponents was doing the fire move, but instead of "Waya!" it sounded like "Waya!" I was like, wait a minute, why does that one sound different? So to test my theory, I chose Kirby for that match, swallowed the one that did the other one, and when Kirby looked like a bird, I was like, Falco's in this game.
That's awesome.
Oh,
That's awesome.
it was a great moment. And then of course Wolf was in Brawl.
Yeah.
I popped off of that too because I love everything about Star Fox. All right, I guess we should start this game at some point.
Sounds good to me.
Oh, one last thing before we start. I'm sorry. So for everyone watching, me and Abram are going to be kind of doing like a little interesting thing for this one because the campaign of Star Fox 64 is relatively short. What we're going to be doing is he and I are going to be swapping off between levels, and we're going to be each doing a different route of Star Fox 64. Abram has decided to do the easy route of Star Fox 64, and I will be doing the hard route to the best of my ability. If I veer off a little bit and accidentally go into the normal route, forgive
That's
me.
fine.
It's been a minute, but I'm gonna do my hardest to stay on the hard route after months of not playing this game. Maybe over a year, but we'll see. I'm also excited because You can see how it says excludes Rumble Pack accessory. I didn't have a Rumble Pack growing up, so I went no Rumble for 64 when I was a kid. But this 64 controller for the Switch comes with built-in Rumble, so I'm going to experience all this Rumble, man, and it's going to be great. All right. Let's go ahead and read this description before we get started. Details. There we go. 1997, like we said, lead the Star Fox team to victory. The Lilat system has been invaded. Take control of the R-Wing and skim over the surface of an alien sea, weave through the concrete canyons of a futuristic metropolis, or dodge planetoids the size of mountains. Complete 15 missions on your way to the final showdown on planet Venom. It's up to Fox McCloud and his team of space mercenaries to save the galaxy from the clutches of the evil Andross. Oh, there's one last thing, actually. Let me show you something. I don't know if you've already played with this, but if you put both NA and EU versions, you get the European version, which was called Lilat Wars.
Such a worse name.
Yeah.
I like Star Fox so much better.
Honestly. Here we go. But I just thought it was a little interesting factoid for the viewers. A little bit. Star Fox.
Now, what's exciting is my Switch was on its last legs, so I finally upgraded to an OLED.
Nice.
I get to see Star Fox 64 in crisp OLED visuals because the game already looks great on Switch, but now I get to see even better.
Oh yeah.
And of course we can't. This is a very important cutscene here.
Absolutely, we're not skipping this.
I love the facial animations they have.
I love it.
So much about it is just so endearing.
It's so charming. Like they were like, I remember reading somewhere that they were thinking specifically of like puppets when they were having them move their mouths, and that's what they look like when they talk. They look like puppets, which is what made that. Yeah.
And then they run and they look like robots.
Yeah, they do. Got the hair. Falco Lombardi. Fox McCloud. See, I got like this annoying notification on the bottom of my screen, but I'm afraid to press a button because I don't want it to skip the cutscene. And then we got the R-Wing here. The R-Wing is still like a really crisp design when it comes to spaceships.
Yes, I think it's fantastic. I think this game is just so simple in its iconography, and that's part of why I think it stayed so memorable.
Absolutely. And then we got the team here. You know, here's a little Easter egg. You can move the 64 around to like, and they just like look at it. It's something I used to do when I was little. I would just like make them look at it. Of course, you let go of the control stick and then it goes back. And they just like talk to each other. Also, like if you just leave it long enough, just like a whole bunch of stuff that happens. The music kind of gets like a little funky. We're not going to spend too long on that. I just wanted to show off a little bit of that. Anyway, so for those who haven't played Star Fox 64, it's a very arcade style game. So you got the data here where you can just delete everything if you just want to start from scratch. There's not much options there. For sound, you can like test the audio a little bit.
A little sound test for us there.
Yep. It's less of a sound test and just kind of like, hey, does everything sound okay? Because you got sound effects with the bombs going, you got dialogue, and then you got music in the background. So you can adjust all of them to your heart's content while it's going in the background. Yeah. And there's that. You can check your ranking at any point. Of course, because we haven't actually done anything, the rankings are the default ones, which I think is cool. It references essentially the 10 main characters of the game. You, of course, got the Star Fox team at the top 4, the Star Wolf team from 5 through 8, and then the miscellaneous characters, Bill and Cat, at the very bottom. Versus something where Abram and I are going to be checking out a little bit later. But let's go ahead and get some training in, because I need to shake off this rust. Okay. Okay. So you got this like raccoon-looking guy.
A very creepy gentleman, very wide-eyed, but
just a little bit. They gave him like a very deep voice in the 3DS remake as well, which is not a voice I ever envisioned with him, honestly. Ah. Okay. Nice, got all of them. Oh, took a little damage there. That's okay. We're good.
That's what training's for.
I'm desperately trying to see if I can get all the rings. I've done it before. It's just, it's not easy.
No, you got to really book it when you want to get to these left and right ones.
Oh yeah. You can lock on and shoot bombs too, which is always a fun little trick to do. Silver ring refills the shield gauge. Thank you, Rick. Okay, 3 gold rings increase the shield gauge.
And if you're not familiar with Star Fox 64, as you'll learn very quickly that this is the game right here. It really does not get any more complicated than this, and I think that's part of the reason why I love it. Star Fox it just takes very simple arcade tenets and does everything with them. It's a game that takes all of its ideas to their natural conclusion and presents you with so many different scenarios, vehicles, boss encounters. It just is very compact. And from a design perspective, that's why I think this game is so evergreen.
Absolutely. Ooh, this is a tough one.
Oh, you got it. Oh, damn.
No, I got him.
Oh, you got it? Good. All right.
Yep. So far, so good. Ah! The greater effect is greater if you hold the button.
I never break when I play. I just ram through our obstacles if it comes to be.
Okay, somersault time. Got that.
As I will no doubt reiterate when I'm actually playing, while I think that the N64 games on Switch on the whole, no,
I was so close.
Damn, on the whole they're quite good. I have to say that the pulling off some of these maneuvers on Switch using Joy-Con I find to be quite difficult.
I don't know how you would even. That's a criticism we can levy on the service overall. Unfortunately,
yes,
is that if you don't actually have the N64 controller, it doesn't quite feel natural for a lot of these games.
Yeah. If you are like me and tried to get one, but was quickly met with disappointment when they sold out immediately every time they went live, well, we got to make do with the Joy-Con, which is certainly serviceable, but I end up finding myself still preferring to play on cart on N64, even with how crisp the games look here on Switch.
For sure. Oh, by the way, for everyone watching, had I not messed up and gotten all the rings, nothing really big happens. Basically, you get a congratulatory message from Rob saying, "Great, now let's get back to the game." Ooh, we got a comment from my cousin Jeremiah here. He's saying, I tried playing this on my Wii U and didn't like it.
Yeah, I mean, Star Fox 64, really the entire rail shooter genre has fallen out of favor to some extent or another, so it's certainly more of an acquired taste now than it would have otherwise been. I introduced one of my good friend and co-host of Backlog Banter, Tucker Hazel, to the game because we were doing a Sin and Punishment review, and he wanted to play this also because he knows I love it. And for him, there's that learning curve too. But when you push through it, I think there's actually a lot to appreciate about Star Fox in its simplicity.
For sure. Anyway, I have given you player 1 control.
Ooh,
and you will go to main game, and you will get us started with that.
Here we go.
Oh, you know what? Actually, hang on 1 second. I'm going to create 2 suspend points. Actually, you know what? I will do that after the opening, so we only have to see the opening crawl once.
Sounds good. Yeah, speaking of Star Fox and Star Wars parallels here.
Yeah, opening crawl. This also blew my mind to have an N64 game with voice acting. That just wasn't common.
No. Both this and Sin and Punishment actually have quite ambitious storytelling, although Sin and Punishment's got full and bizarre anime cutscenes, so.
Yeah, that's very true. Jeremiah says the main reason is there's no invert y-axis in the game. That's fair. I grew up with
Sure.
with the y-axis being the way it was. So now if I play any kind of space game that doesn't have it, I can't. Like for example, there's like some spaceship segments in Guardians of the Galaxy that just recently came out, and
Yeah.
by default it had it set up to you move up and down like by actually moving that direction. And I was like, ooh, this feels gross. So you switch to Star Fox 4 axis.
Yeah, I have to play inverted Y when I'm flying.
And free the Lilat system once again.
We're on it. If all goes according to plan, actually, we'll free the Lilat system twice this evening.
Indeed, indeed. 2 different timelines. So, real quick before you hit anything, people can see that these are all the different planets or planetoids or sometimes just nebulas that you can go to. And what's cool is your routes can be very different depending on what you do in each mission. And we're going to be demonstrating that all throughout this I guess, full playthrough that we're going to be doing. For even in Corneria, depending on how you complete the first mission in Corneria, will determine where you're going next. You see, there's 2 lines, one toward that asteroid field, which is called Meteo, and another one through Sector Y, and that will just, different missions. Now, real quick, I'm going to go ahead and make our spend points.
Perfect.
First one, and then a second one, so we can just go from there.
All right.
You're free to begin whenever.
Here we go.
He says, also the parts where we fight Starro are extremely obnoxious. Dude, those are the best parts. What are you talking about?
Oh no, I gotta side with the cousin on this one. I think Star Fox is at its best when it stays on rails. When we get into all range, all range Star Fox is what it is. But that precision of these on rails courses, so good.
I mean, that's fair. That's definitely fair. Like, it is very much tailor made for it. But I enjoy rival fights in games. So when I see these clashes with the Star Wolf team, I love taking them on. And it feels good as an adult because when I was young, I couldn't beat them because I didn't know I wasn't that good. So beating them now is kind of therapeutic.
In light of all of Zero's issues, I think that the Star Wolf fight in that game is fantastic because you're switching between the Walker and the Arwing, and the Star Wolf does the same.
Yeah, the final fight against Wolf, which is completely optional, but that one-on-one fight that happens in Fachina, ace. It's a difficult fight, but it's fair.
I gotta replay. I've actually only ever completed Star Fox Zero once. I was like, oh yeah, here it is. Ooh, okay, and we're into the game. So whenever I'm at Corneria, I love to jump along the water, completely unnecessarily, but it just pleases me because why can the ship do that? Who knows?
Nice one.
So I will do my best with the controls. There is certainly some weird stuff like you use R and ZL for left and right, which is peculiar. So there's things like that, but we'll make it work. We'll make it work. We'll smoke through Corneria. I didn't try to get a good score, but we'll see. I gotta remember. Okay, yeah. So Y somersaults on Joy-Con. Mm-hmm. That break. Okay, so then I break with X. Oh, I'm gonna miss that, but I don't remember how to boost. We're gonna have to do a little bit of experimentation here.
Yeah, that's okay. It's Corneria, the easy route. You'll have plenty of time to experiment.
Yeah. Use to break. I can just hit X to break. Excuse me. Get in front of me so I can shoot you. Thank you. Forget, is it C? No. We'll remember. We'll be instructed by Peppy soon enough. Now I gotta land a charge shot here to help Falco out. But I can't remember if it'll let me how to boost.
Yeah, he's almost down.
Yeah, see the problem is to boost I have to I think he's safe.
Yeah, he's safe now.
Push
and there's the line.
Yes. Do a barrel roll.
Oh my goodness.
Gotta go.
Abram, in Star Fox Zero, did you unlock the mission where you play as Peppy?
No.
Ooh, dude, that mission is meme-tastic. It's also really hard.
Yeah. As Brendan was saying, if you actually go through all of these little arches that I'm flying over, you take an alternate path with Falco, as he'll be demonstrating when he goes on the sticks. But
For
that's
sure.
just an early instance of this game's kind of non-linearity, which is
Mm-hmm.
another reason why it remains so fun, because you can constantly. There we go. Finally got blue lasers. You can constantly experiment with your way that you reach Venom. And I will also show you how to cheese Andros in this run too. So
Nice. I love it.
we'll give you some of those strats. Okay. So
See, you get to see if this game holds up, and you get some stress if you do like it.
yes, I got the first all-range boss, who is incredibly easy as soon as you find his back, which can be a little bit tricky. I get some distance on him. I just got hit by my own teammates. So that was cool.
Yeah, you know, they're ace pilots after all. See,
I'm
what sucks
working on it, buddy. Don't worry about
what
it.
sucks about doing like the easy path is that Peppy takes like a needless amount of damage
Yes.
from his
Alright, here, why don't you just walk in front of me?
his somersault tutorial. He takes so much damage, and so it's hard to like keep him safe for later missions.
Did I take down his leg? I think so. Yeah. Yeah, our man is stranded. There we go. There we go. Little bit messy. Usually, you just want to U-turn. You can U-turn on him, hit his back. If you bomb his back, it's usually a one shot and you're out of there. But we make do on Switch. Shake my finger at Nintendo until they give me one of those N64 controllers. But
Praying that you
I
get
think
one
we.
soon.
I hope
As soon
so
as you
too. They
can. As
said
soon as you can. Anyway.
they said 2022, which is a 365-day window. So hopefully they mean early
Hey,
2022. As
I also hope this.
long as I get one before F-Zero X comes.
Also, yeah, you want to play that with his. I've never played F-Zero X with. I didn't like F-Zero X. I did not get that on N64. I actually played that for the first time on the Virtual Console. So I'd love to play it with the actual controller.
I think I've only played it on original hardware.
Okay, let's make you this point here. All right. Swap me in. Load this. Yeah. All right, my turn. Let's rock and roll.
Here we go.
It's about time you showed up, Fox. You're the only hope for our world.
I'll do my best. Andros won't have his way with me.
All right. But my training will pay off. I'll skip this if I can. No, I can't. Okay, it's whatever. We'll see. We'll see
right.
we'll see the glorious opening one more time. Now, see, Fox is going to be very clear about checking your G diffuser system, but as we saw in that mission, Falco, he didn't really check it twice, like a good old man Saint Nick. See, he says he's fine. Like he didn't even look. He was the first one to answer.
The banter between characters is also another reason why I just love this game.
It's
They all
wonderful.
they are all one-dimensional characters, but the interplay between them is really rich.
Exactly.
And I think that's why the team works so well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Ooh, look at that nice charge shot. The game is all about building up these combos. There is quite a bit of memorization that comes in on later runs when you start to learn. Okay, this is where I'm going to be attacked from at this point of the stage, and then this point of the stage, and you start to figure out how you can maximize that score and start earning some medals.
Yeah. Ugh. Oh jeez.
not a big bomb man when I play. I think I need to integrate those into my playstyle a little bit more.
What the heck? Why am I staying to the side? I'm not... That's odd. I think I'm doing okay so far. You know, it's really hard to get, like, the, you know, the gold medals that you can get in this game? Getting the one on Corneria is, like, freakishly hard.
Yeah.
I've never been able to do it.
I've never been much of a medal hunter. For a while I tried on 3DS, but I find that a lot of the satisfaction in Star Fox is just enjoying the sights and the sounds and the spectacle and trying to beat my personal best, but not necessarily kill myself for the point totals you gotta have for these medals.
Yeah, for sure. Whew. I totally almost didn't say Falco there. That would have just derailed everything. Wow, that was... Okay.
Now here comes the fork in the road.
Yep.
Nicely done.
Whew, thank you. Oh, that's what's going on. I'm gripping my LR button too tight. I was like, why am I staying to the right like that? I try to keep like a light tap on it, but then I was just like, yeah. Totally could have stole that kill from Falco. I was like, let me have this one. He found us a hit. He found us the hidden road. He can have this.
He really put in the legwork, yes. Now, do you know this guy's name?
I do not. Does he have a canon
I
name?
don't either. I don't know. That's why I was curious. I always just thought of him as the kind of lizard man that shows up on the alternate Corneria route.
Lizard man. So fun fact, this boss is in the original Star Fox. He is also in Star Fox Zero.
This boss is kind of archetypal of what the on-rails bosses are. Of course, a very simple one, but sort of this game of patience where you wait for your opportunity, you dodge some projectiles, there's usually some kind of glowy spot to hit, and then you call it a day.
Absolutely.
There's usually some taunting from Andross's lieutenants.
Ah, he got me good there. Alright, let's finish this. Dodge a little bit. Oh, he is...
Nicely done.
His ship is bleeding.
He is in big trouble. And he's gone. Right on. And playing on Switch, there's just so much visual detail that I can't catch otherwise. Like the laser scoring when you miss and you hit the ground or whatever. It's very impressive stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. By the way, viewers may have noticed that when Abram finished the level, it said mission complete. For mine, it said mission accomplished. And that's usually the telltale sign that you know you found like the hidden root of a level, is if it says accomplished as opposed to complete.
Yeah.
That's not a hard and fast science, but like, well, to put it more specifically, if the mission only has one route, then it'll always say accomplished, for example.
But so some of them are a little bit, the alternate routes, I should say, are a little bit archaic in that respect, fly through the things, but as we'll see when we get into some of the later stages, they're a little bit more dynamic. Sort of your success in gameplay, there's one key example that we'll get to against Starwolf, where that kind of dictates your path you take. So. Oh
yeah, for sure. Also, people will notice that the line that my route is going is red. That also is a visual indicator of the difficulty of the route you have taken. So when we're going to switch back to Abram in a second, you'll see there'll be like a blue line indicating that he's on the easy path. The red line indicates the harder path, and then some levels will have a yellow line indicating that it's the normal path. So you got an idea of what kind of difficulty you're into. Also, if you do unlock the hidden path, you have the option of doing the easier one if you think it's too much for you. You have that option. Yeah, if you did the conditions to get it, then you have the choice. Whereas if you did the conditions the easy route, you're pretty much stuck there. So let me go ahead and make a new suspend point. I am on slot 2.
Yes.
Yes. And then we will, after I switch you in, and then we load you into.
Okay.
Godspeed, sir.
Here we go. We're going to the potato fields now.
Star Fox. Now watch out for
I always thought the asteroids looked like potatoes here as we're getting our briefing from General Pepper.
They do.
Very iconic character. Now we're into that Empire Strikes Back type beat with the asteroid field.
Oh yeah, for sure. That wing just ate that meteor. There's no big deal.
Things are
There you
starting to
go.
heat up. You're right.
There you go. There's your line.
There are so many quotables out of this game.
Very much so. I love quoting this game. Every level probably has at least one quotable.
Definitely. The beginning of this stage is not much because, as you'll see, the premise here is well, that we get caught off guard. So what seems like a easy trip to the asteroids, as Peppy says right here, seems a little bit too quiet.
There's a trap.
Yes, and then he pulls out a little bit of Admiral Akbar on us, and
Just a little bit, yeah. Smidgen.
we're off to the races.
The audacity of Andros to make like a hopping robot.
Yes. There he goes. So let's get a nice charge shot on the guys that are gonna come through here.
Try.
Okay, hold on. What's the button combo and switch? Okay,
Oh.
there we go. Well, we learned too late, but ultimately I don't really need these items.
Yeah.
If I hit Y and down, I'll somersault. I really wish they let us rebind the controls.
Yeah, that would be a nice.
That was the bomb, not the brake. We're boosting, don't worry about it, Peppy. Got my bomb back. Not that I even really need it on this stage.
From Rob 64.
Now the 3DS version really does not do a whole hell of a lot with the bottom screen, but it does. Oh, it's down. There we go. It does let you tap the screen to talk to Rob, which I always thought was a neat little detail.
Yeah, that is cool.
Ultimately, it doesn't really mean a whole lot.
The touchscreen is basically just your comms, essentially.
Yeah. Which is a nice feature. It clears up a little bit of real estate on the screen, but ultimately it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Peppy. I didn't do a whole lot, but always here for the save. Ooh, can we get the middle one? That should be a hit on all.
Yeah,
there we go.
that's it. That's the trick.
It gets a little bit tricky when you're trying to pre-charge a shot and you want to hit that center, but
Ooh, spider
they
time.
are. Yeah, here we go. And more. It's getting away.
This on the surface of it, it seems like there's only one route to like finish this level. But this is one of 2 levels in the game that has a secret route.
Which I don't think I've ever taken.
It's hard to trigger. It's very hard to trigger. But you'll see like the conditions
Here,
for it
buddy.
soon. Bioweapons.
There we go. You're really in no position to make threats right now, Slippy. Take that, I did all the work. Oh, give me that. Perfect. get a little bonus life. Not that I hope I don't end up losing it here, but it'll be. Come on.
Yeah,
A little bit of a
it's really hard to get to those, through all those.
yeah.
But if you do, that's how you get into the secret area. No, these are the potato asteroids here.
Yes.
Just shoot it. And Andros made like weird defense.
Andros made a yes.
Weird defense asteroids.
Very situational.
Indeed.
I cannot allow you to go any further.
I always like this guy.
Yeah, this guy's great. This is actually one of my favorite boss fights of the game.
Yes, this one is very much the archetype of shoot the glowy spot, as you will see soon. There it is. Rotate.
The crazy thing is, you're fighting the back of the ship. This is like a very high-tech machinery, even if it's not extremely effective.
Excuse me. And then get new charge shot here.
And then the back of the ship can generate like an electric shock. Like this is some high-tech machinery he's got going on here. Thing is destroyed, but he's still firing. That's crazy.
They've got some the Andros, as being the mad scientist he is, makes some pretty tricky ships, but
Yep, and now you fight the front.
nothing Star Fox can't handle.
When I was little, I could never keep Falco safe for this level, so this line that he just said is like, "You're not as stupid as you look." If you don't have Falco to warn you beforehand, what he instead says is, "If this does not work!" I used to hear that all the time when I was little.
There we go.
Those are one-liners.
I tend to be a little bit impatient when I hit these boss fights. If they hit me, they hit me. As long as I'm doing damage to them, I don't really care. You'll see my impatience as I said, when we get to Andros. We'll deal with him very quickly.
Yes.
We'll do the old eye into the hand routine.
Mm-hmm. Taking a few hits, but I'm okay. You are so lucky. I don't hear him say that line too often. I don't know what the trigger is for him saying that.
I don't know either.
Well, it looks like you're off to Ficina. That's going to be an interesting level.
Yes.
First. And you'll have two options there. Let's make the suspend point here. Slot 1.
Now we'll head to Sector Y.
Let's do this. Yep, see, that's what I was talking about earlier for everyone watching. I can go to the next course, change course to the easy one that Abram just did, or you can just retry the whole course and lose an R-wing in the process.
And why you do that? Hunting score, pretty much.
Exactly.
Because you don't even have the option if you want that alternate route and you miss it, you can't even retry with an R-wing. So
exactly. So I love that this is like, first off, this is Gundam. Like we just got,
yes.
So we got a little Gundam in our Star Wars essentially. I always like the designs of these mechs. They got like the shields, the guns, and they're like ape themed.
Yeah.
Another
good boss fight here, but you got a very impressive space battle to get you there. Now this stage this is a very weird connection in my head, but this stage reminds me of I'm a huge Lego Star Wars fan.
Nice.
And
yeah, I am too.
in the Lego Star Wars Revenge of the Sith campaign, very early on, there's a space mission above Coruscant through a battle similar to this, and so my little kid brain was always like, hey, this is like my Lego Star Wars game. So that's another weird mental connection I have here.
I can see it for sure. Oh. How am I doing so far? I'm at 35 kills. I don't know if that's enough. I gotta get at least 100 to get to the next hard mission.
Oh, you got it easy. There's still plenty of time on this stage.
Okay, Pepe's praising me here, which means I'm on pace. You know that you're not doing good if Falco says, Fox, you're supposed to shoot them all? Alright, I'm halfway through. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're doing great.
Ugh, that was a big miss. Oh, you can choose to go top or bottom here. I'm gonna go top.
I'll take care of everything below.
And Pepe will take care of everything below. We got nothing to worry about.
What a nice
So,
guy.
so even the level can change slightly depending on routes you take sometimes.
Yeah, it's a very dynamic game. You know, you can run through Star Fox in 40 minutes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it's not long, but you know, one route is nowhere near what the game has to offer. So
Absolutely.
I like that sort of dynamic replayability. I tend to prefer a shorter game personally. And so if you can so smartly design your experience to where beat it in an hour, but put in a dozen, I think that's really special.
I'm sorry, Falco, I let you down. I didn't take that shot. And there's about 100.
And we're good.
Yo, Pepe, be careful.
They're just chilling in formation. There they go.
I'll take that bomb. Could definitely use that. I think the high score for this one, to get the medal, is like 150, so 50 more than the minimum to get the hidden route. So it's not impossible if you do the mission. Okay, let's take these guys down. We got, that's what I'm saying. Okay, let's do a U-turn here. Gotta charge up waiting for that. Why do you talk in the third person?
There goes one.
Oh god, I keep crashing. I don't want to lose my wing because I don't lose my laser.
Luckily, the game is very generous with laser power-ups. Even when you get into Andross, by fighting his weird temple guardian, you can get all the way back up to full power before you fight him.
Well, that's true. Very true.
That's why I tend to be a little bit more reckless when I play, because basically anything you lose, you can make back.
God. Okay, let's U-turn here. Okay, I can see you. I see you like it.
There you go.
There, boss fight over. Or is it?
Uh-oh. Yes,
This guy's design is so cool.
they pull the great fake out on you, and then they bring in the real guy.
This is he's wily. And then you got on the radar that shows like that big ship coming in the background. Doesn't really do anything though. It's just kind of like there to. Now he can.
There to intimidate.
Mostly, yeah. And he says that every time he gets hit. It's like it's definitely another quotable. Dude, he moves around a lot. Oh, he's behind me. Oh, I got. Ah! That's a crash! Down! I've taken a lot of damage. Now, sometimes he can, like, get upon his ship and then do damage that way. But it's not a. It's not, I do not remember. Like, lock onto him or no? Yeah, he is really hard to hit. Oh my god.
Yeah, he's a slippery one. The all range missions, with an enemy of this scale are tricky because you can't lock on, and you can't track them as easily as you can track like the boss I took down in Corneria.
Right, for sure. He's like such a small target too. I do not remember ever having this much trouble against him though.
He's a tricky one.
Same. I could have sworn I hit him. Oh, someone else hit him. Good job, guys. Hit him hard.
Yes, your teammates are not helpful in this game. You really do a lot more babysitting than they do a lot of fighting, but nonetheless invaluable to have around for alternate routes and just for the enjoyment of their dialogue.
Oh, you messed up! You messed up!
Oh,
you messed up! Let's go!
there we go. There we go.
Oh, who told you to sit down on the job, man? Who told you? Oh, man. Ooh, that was close.
He used up all his energy dodging you.
Mission accomplished. We're heading for Aquas. Let's go!
Aquas is my least favorite stage in the game.
Oh yeah, it's not good. But and I have mixed feelings about the one following Aquas too.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting. Oh my god, my health was low. That was definitely a close one.
But hey, made it out of Sector Y.
Ooh, Aquas will be fun. But before we get to that one, let's make a new suspend point. Number 2 is mine. Yep. Oh, hang on. Let me put you back in first. Okay. Then load 1. Awesome.
Perfect. Here we go.
Recover our base from the enemy army.
Roger, General.
So here we hit Star Wolf, and we had a fully all-range mission.
And take it to him.
The first thing we're gonna do is we're going to experiment for a second. Okay, so back and X will hit my U-turn, and if we hit, hello?
I'm here.
Not that. There we no. Hold on. Yeah, hold on, Slippy. I gotta do a little bit of Joy-Con recalibration.
Okay.
Let's see. None of those. Come on, Mr. Nintendo. It's not up, it's not down, it's not back, it's left. You know what? We're gonna go without the somersault. We don't really need it in all range right now. We'll figure it out. Okay, I'm joining the battle with you. Sadly. Down a move, but oh well.
Wait. But you were using it before, weren't you?
I was using it before, but I had just tried every conceivable right or left stick and face button combination.
Oh, very odd. Wait, wasn't it that and then left? Wasn't it a button and left at the same time?
Yeah, it was, but now who knows? Again, part of the reason why I'm somewhat indifferent about this version of the game in particular, but not that we really need it. We can take down Wolf without him. Wolf, Leon, Pigma. What an iconic team. And of course, Andrew.
Yeah. Oh man, Wolf, Pigma, Leon. Oh, Andrew's here too.
Andrew's just in Andross's shadow. Even he knows it.
He's on this team because Andros pulled strings.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta say Peppy!
Peppy, where are you? There we go. I got him off your back. Don't worry about it, Peppy.
It still says help.
Yeah, Falco, don't worry about it. I got the intercept.
Pigma's once again on your boy.
Yes. Get off of him. Yeah.
Oof.
And give me that.
Wolf is giving you the business.
This is a lot of. Give him a little bit of that. Now the deal with this stage is, if you wanna move up from the easy route, you gotta
win.
beat them all very quickly. No, we're doing okay. We'll see. But there's some supplies I could grab, but I would much rather. There we go. Take out Leon.
You got both Wolf and Pigma on you now that he's finished off Peppy.
Yeah, I've been not a great wingman here, but it's fine. Come on, I wish I could somersault. This is making this very frustrating. I'm trying, Falco, but we're down a critical move for something like this.
Uh-oh.
Man, I think I will probably have to do a little bit of Googling while you're taking your next turn so I can actually have my full move set here, but
Wait, Slippy lost too?
yeah, it's me and Falco chilling out here. This really was a categorical defeat for us. I might actually die too. I can't get back behind him. Grab a ring here at least. But...
I didn't even see it.
We'll see.
Oh, let's let his Pigma.
If only I could somersault, I would have him.
You can still do it! Oh, no.
Where is he? Yeah, no, we missed him. Oh well, I was supposed to stay on the easy route anyway. Alright, let's whip open a quick Google here. Oh, and he was one shot away. How to somersault on Joy-Con.
I haven't seen the fail state for this mission in a while.
I have not either. I'm actually before I go somersault.
Oof. Ooh, that was a big explosion.
Yeah, it's really not a happy moment here for Team Star Fox, but
I always envisioned that if they ever did like a Star Fox series, that canonically they would lose this fight to show how powerful Star Wolf was.
oh, okay. So I can just use the regular combinations off of the two sticks. Well, that's what we'll do next time. Oh well, rest in peace, Slippy and Peppy. They'll be back soon. You don't have to worry about them. They show back up.
Well, one of them might be back real soon because he's needed for a certain mission.
Yes, there's some plot reasons for certain characters to reemerge, but next I'll be hitting Sector X, but first you'll be taking us to Aquas.
That's right, and boy, oh, I pressed the wrong button. Okay, hang on one second. Oh, I pressed the home button, that's why. Okay, let's make a suspend point there. Slot me in, load, slot 2. Oh boy, Aquas!
So here we get to show off some of the alternate vehicles, because Star Fox is more than just the Aqua.
Yeah, deploy the Blue Marine!
And now you get to the worst one of the alternate vehicles, in my opinion.
Design-wise, I think it's cool. But
it's a cool design.
That's about all I can give it.
Yeah.
And it got rendered useless in later games because in Command in particular, they just figured out how to have their spacecraft go in water.
Yeah.
So I imagine that Blue Marine just has never been used again. This is the only mission in the game where this even appears. Ooh, this sand looks a little rough.
Yes, we now we enter the land of the low and slow frame rate here.
Oh, that's
The
right.
controls are a little bit different too.
They are, yeah. I was like looking
More-
for a lock-in, lock-on. It's not quite the same. You lock on for your
No.
torpedoes, but yeah, like it plays very similar to R-Wing, but there's some key differences that is
Yes.
kind of tripped me out. I'm not gonna lie.
Still some cool details nonetheless. Aquas is certainly a pretty location in the game.
Pretty indeed, from what you can see. And yeah, the torpedoes is like a godsend in this level because you need it to like even see where you're going. And yeah, as Peppy mentions, there Andros is doing some pollution in this here water, and you manage to pretty much stop it before it gets too bad. But the next level in the hard mission shows you what happens if you don't get there. Essentially, what happens when you don't get there in time.
Yes.
Because geographically speaking, it's a very similar planet. The next level, but there's a pretty key difference that you will see. You know, Slippy, it's okay. Oh, Falco's lack of confidence is like hilarious. Like, this thing will never hold together. Definitely gotta do some barrel rolls here.
Yes, this is definitely Projectile Alley, but
Okay.
it's very cool seeing the sort of squid-like Andros. What would you call it? Infantry, I suppose?
Bioweapons, I think they're called.
Bioweapons, yes.
And he has a lot of these things. Oh, I can break. Nice. You'll die already. Thank you. Oh, God!
You can definitely take some big hits in this stage.
Why is no one getting hit? Oh, God. Slide. Yo, they have a lot of health!
They have a lot of health. That's part of the reason why I find myself more often than not when I'm playing just avoiding this section of the route.
Oh my God. Yeah, I got kind of a bad feeling too, Peppy. I gotta say. Ah! I could really go for some like something.
A silver ring right about now would be very nice.
It'd be great, actually. Oh my God.
Hey, but you're holding it together.
Oh, but here's the boss. There's a gigantic bivalve looking thing here.
Kind of gives some Zelda Goma eyes with the vibes with the big eye there in the middle, but
I could definitely see this being like Zelda boss.
the alternate timeline where Zelda is a rail shooter.
Yeah.
Luckily the boss really isn't that tough, at least.
Yeah, no, it's once you know how to beat it, it's not too bad. No, Peppy, you know it could be better.
Come on.
Gotta get that support up. I thought these things were supposed to like give you like.
There's a ring.
Oh, the
There you
ring!
go. Uh-oh. Oh, nice, you got it. Nicely done. One more. Then we can start doing some damage.
Oh. Well, I got pushed back there. Whew.
Yeah, there we go.
Trying. I don't even want to think about what this weird thing is that he's like.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows? Good torpedo there.
Okay. That's not gonna. Yeah, I figured that would put issue there.
Ooh, almost.
This should be it.
That should hit. Yeah, there we go.
At the end of the boss. Thought that was gonna get in. Okay.
You gotta get a pretty lucky torpedo shot through all of the orbs he shoots. There we go.
Orbs.
Put up that shield just in the nick of time.
That was a bad torpedo. That was definitely not going hitting that thing. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do something here. Yeah, I think that was the play. In fact, I'm gonna go even further if I can. Oh no, it regenerates. Okay, try this. Ooh, I'm getting cocky. Oh my god, this is.
Yeah, Aquas is certainly far below, I think, the design quality of basically the entire rest of the game.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes! Let's go!
Nice hit.
Whew.
Nice
Good.
hit.
Thank you. Ooh, boy, oh boy, oh boy.
And we're out of the water.
Oh yeah, out of the water indeed. Whew.
We're preparing to dock.
Mission accomplished.
Thanks, Flip. Green kid through.
It definitely has a cool design.
Yeah, it's a really cool design. That's yeah.
Thanks a lot, Peppy.
It's very good stage in concept. But
hmm
in execution, nah.
This thing didn't come back in 0, right?
No. We get what I think is an even worse vehicle though, the gyro wing.
Ha, the gyro ring. Also a good design and concept.
Yes.
I remember being very excited about the gyro wing, and then I actually played the mission. I was like, oh.
And then it turns Star Fox into a stealth game with a little robot man.
That's forcing your Wii U mechanics on you for you.
Yes.
Alrighty. So let me make this a spin point. On the hard route. Switch to you. And then load you here. Alright.
Okay. Hit up Sector X.
Reports indicate that Andros is working on some secret weapon.
I'll check it out.
So this is the only level in the game that actually has 3 different routes.
And
Two regular routes, 1 easy, 1 normal, and a secret one. That is significantly easier to access if you came here from Katina.
Out that weapon, boys.
let's take out that weapon, boys. And by boys, we mean only Falco, because he's the only one who survived the great I can't figure out how to somersault debacle of, of
2021.
Fortuna. Yes. But,
The ship designs of the enemies are pretty cool, actually.
yeah.
And they
Got
barrel
some
roll.
friends I can shoot. Oh boy. Can I get that bonus? Almost. There's a really great sense of scale to this game.
Very much so.
You think about... Whoa.
Oh yeah, the landmines that your friends didn't warn you about because they're not here.
Yes. Yes, well... I've maintained blue lasers at least. I have not maintained most of my health bar after those mines, and I think I just missed that ring, but we'll be fine. There we go. Grab that one at least.
I think the butterfly Gary gives you gold.
Yeah.
Quick, get to the checkpoint! Ooh, first death.
Well, that's fine. Falco, don't worry about it. That's why we have bonuses.
Let's take out that weapon, boys. Have a little fun.
We'll try to get some of those lasers back. But...
Let's have a little fun is something I hear some people quote sometimes from this game.
I take that ring too. We gotta get that. We gotta get that full health bar back. We gotta do a little bit of catch up here. But that's all right. Falco, I'm gonna actually blame you for that, for flying directly in my line of fire.
You ran right into my fist.
Ooh, get a little hit off over there. Yeah, landmines. Once again pounding me, but yeah, that's fine. It's fine. We won't make the same mistake twice here. We'll actually grab.
I love the idea that like there's like an enemy base here, but it's like completely destroyed.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of good world building here.
Nice one.
We got that. We got the checkpoint. We got the bigger health bar. Now I just need my missile upgrades back.
This is where you would help Peppy, but you know.
Yeah, but Peppy's our wings in the shop.
Yeah. The weird hand just kind of like came through that door. Though. What could that be? Another weird hand. So again, you could have gone left or right there, which is another like you know it was the same thing as Sector Y where you could go like up or down.
Yes.
But I would only recommend going left if you're planning on doing like the secret route for anyone that happens to be playing this mission, which again is not easy to access.
Get as many of those as I can. Who wants to give me a missile upgrade? Rob, you want to come through?
Yeah, that'd be nice. Oh, sure
Hello.
enough.
Now, don't give me a bomb, Rob. Don't give me any of that nonsense.
You get nothing because you just dodged it.
I'm too focused. I gotta try to survive here. Well, it will be fine.
And like Rob heard you and was like, "Oh, I'll give you something." It's like, what the hell? You just dodged it. This does not compute. Fox is insane.
Yes, I'm no longer on damn it. I'm no longer on speaking terms with Rob now.
Don't forget me.
There he goes.
Hi, Slippy. Now, why did you show up, Slippy?
Is everything okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, so those what
we
those
go.
hands were the whole time. This is one of the few
Destroy.
bosses names I remember. This is called Spyborg. Very much inspired by Rob, the robotic operating buddy.
Yes. Well, this guy is not our buddy, so... Oh, ow.
He slapped you down though.
Yeah. They telegraph pretty wide what they're gonna do. I rarely ever end up fighting this boss. But they've got very set paths, so you can pretty much see that the hand is gonna go way out of the way over here to Kalamazoo. Do the same thing on this side, and you'll be fine. Now, without blue lasers, it's a little bit more of a hassle, but that's what you get for being careless. But Spyborg's over here doing a lot of taunting. He doesn't seem too concerned about the fact that I'm quickly lasering through his head.
Rox, you should be less concerned about what he's saying, just dodging those rocket punches.
I tried to get a little too greedy there. Now, aiming high can be hard because the reticle wants to move down a little bit, so you gotta...
It does.
Yeah, come on. There we go.
Oh, there you go. You beat him.
There we go.
Completely.
Yippee!
He's still done.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. With the good old finger wag.
You can even see his face now.
The game loves a good fake-out boss fight.
Oh, Slippy's got this. You can just chill.
Slippy, stay back, Slippy. Uh-oh.
Oh, I guess he didn't got this.
Man, Slippy, it's almost like you had a plot function to serve. I'll get you back for that now, Spyborg.
And now you can't see his health bar.
We know that he's about to die. We go for the patent day, the Abram Buehner tank the damage strat, and then when it's back to my turn again, we'll see yet another vehicle.
But don't you see, he just wanted to be complete, Abram. He was looking for his creator.
Ah, heck with him. He's in our way.
Clearly, it is as impactful as the ending of the original Blade Runner film.
Yes, now, for as fun as the writing in this game is, there is no teardrops and rain level monologue here. I love Blade Runner. I don't know if you know this, but Blade Runner is my favorite movie of all time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you a secret. I only saw Blade Runner for the first time maybe a week and a half ago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and the reason being... hold on, let me go ahead and do this switcheroo real quick. Yep, here. And the reason why is because they have recently started a new anime called Blade Runner Black Lotus.
Yes.
And it had occurred to me that I have never seen the Blade Runner films when that show had begun. So I was like, well, both that and Blade Runner 2049 are on HBO Max. Let me get on that. So I recently watched the first one. And my next project is to see 2049. And then I can start watching the anime because I am very curious to see it.
Yeah, I haven't watched the anime. I think I'll wait for the entire show to come out and just watch it, at my own pace then. I'm not a big fan of having to wait week to week for shows.
I hear you. So Zonus is the first place where we meet a guest character. Now, one of the guest characters we're not going to meet because he exists in the normal route, which we just ignored. His name is Bill. He's actually an old friend of Fox's, but Bill went on to become a Cornerian pilot while Fox became, a mercenary. So yeah, I gotta sneak in to win this, which is one of the harder objectives in this game. So I don't have a lot of bombs, but I'm gonna need them. So. Okay, so far I have not been spotted. Oh, I can't see them. Okay, okay, I got him. Yeah.
Get this guy off.
On it. Oh, you're not, I don't got it yet?
It's really starting to pick me off.
Oh, God. Okay.
I'm hit.
What the?
Uh-oh.
Oh, that wasn't quite my father's example, but,
We're closing in on this.
and there she
And
is.
here they
Cat.
come.
Take the rifle.
Okay, she's got the right.
What are you doing here?
Yo, Cat, where you go?
She
They got
really
the-
left you hanging there. But you got that recovery. Nicely done.
Oh my God. Ah.
Whoa! Watch out!
So yeah, this entire planet has been filled with toxic waste because of Andross's experiments.
There's a really great degree of environmental variety in this game, which
Indeed.
I think sometimes goes unrecognized because a lot of the really interesting ones are hidden in these higher difficulty routes. I always think of, and I always forget the name of the fire planet in on the normal route.
Solar.
Solar, yes, which is quite the challenging one gameplay wise because you've got to deal with some draining shields and a lot of lava waves and everything. But
Woo!
when you get into these alternate routes, you end up finding some very interesting stages.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, that was not worth it. Working on it. Oh God. Yeah, I should have somersaulted there instead. Oh well.
Hey, well, you're still alive. You're doing well. We need one more gold ring to get that health bar increase.
I could definitely use that.
There it is.
Slippy, you're not doing too good right now.
Enemy fighter spotted. Take them down.
Really, really leading the charge there, huh, Falco? I love Cat's theme too. It's very playful.
The entire soundtrack in this game is so good.
Absolutely. Oh, my wing!
You can definitely get yourself into some tricky situations where
Ah!
we quickly rack up a lot of damage. But now, one of the things that that you quickly come to find out is that if you take too much damage, your wings actually fall off, and when your wings fall off, you lose levels of your laser. So
Indeed.
that's another thing you gotta watch out for.
I can barely fly. But here's the good thing. All the lasers are gone. I mean, all the searchlights have been hit. If I can just survive, we're on the way to the next loop. You gotta like constantly like be moving upwards because my momentum is like trash now.
Yeah.
My altitude is trash.
This boss I've always found to be a little bit tricky. I think it's partially just because I've fought it so many less times, just because of where it sits in the route. But
Little Easter egg was like for those who noticed is like this periscope thing that's visible now was looking at us throughout this entire route. We just yeah, for those who noticed that he's been kind of just like observing you this whole time. Okay. Yeah,
this
one
could be
more hit.
trouble, but I believe in you here.
I may have to do a second attempt, but oh shoot! I should have gotten that silver ring. One of his things is down. I gotta like
That was very close.
I gotta just like dodge those entirely.
Now, if I remember, I think you
Oh,
gotta
the
get on
exhaust
both
pipes!
in one route. Or in one round, or they keep coming back.
Fox, are you okay?
No, Slippy, you know, I'm not okay. I'm like in from death, no wings. The exhaust pipes have to go first. I did forget about that. I'm out of bombs. Darn it!
Fox, are you okay?
I meant to destroy the exhaust pipes, not. Oh, that's that.
Uh-oh.
Whew. All right, where am I?
Another opportunity.
Oh my God, where was
And
that last
see,
chest point?
if people were noticing, just a second ago off to the left, there was the periscope.
Mm-hmm.
While you do your best to make your way back to the boss, I'll keep my eyes peeled for it in case it pops out again, so people can take a look.
So I gotta be careful in that middle section because that's where disaster struck.
Yes, that's where you gotta ping pong it a little bit.
Okay, let's do one of these. Oh my God, that's.
Now we're just short a laser power.
I'm going to avoid all that.
And that's a very good plan.
No. Okay,
That's not bad. Just a little bit of damage.
a little bit of damage is
A little
fine.
scratch to the paint.
Yeah. Stay down. No. Ping pong. There it is. It's such a hard section to like.
Uh-oh.
That's no. Oh, that wow, I did even worse there.
The hard route gets pretty hard.
Oh yeah. No.
I believe in you. Third time's the charm here.
I'm feeling it. I'm really feeling it.
Call him Shulk.
I won't show because he's really feeling it. Alright. Safer room here.
Nice.
Still took a little damage, but
Not bad.
okay. I missed a gold one this one.
All right, here's the big moment.
Yep.
You got this.
Okay.
There we go.
Staying up. I don't care. Just go away. There's my gold ring. We do. Oh God.
Nice.
So yeah, without
Look at
Falco,
this.
without Falco, it's like it's significantly more difficult to like get through that because you have to like do like a time bomb to get some of those searchlights. Without Falco, it's like
All right. Now you got this for sure.
Yeah, I got the health spare. Twin lasers. Well, that's a bad start, but kind of blindsided me a little bit. That's okay. I'll fix him. Gotta make sure I stop ducking the bombs. That went nowhere. It might even be a better idea to try to like go up to like a high number. But let me not take too long though. Okay, one exhaust pipe down.
That bomb?
Okay, he's got one exhaust pipe. He's taking a little damage.
Now do some cannonball dodging and not bad.
Yeah, so far so good. Okay. Oh, I missed that. It's okay. Still got plenty of health.
Plenty of health, plenty of bombs.
Both exhaust pipes
There
are
we
down.
go.
Now we can do some stuff. Oh, my wing!
That's all right. This is the bomb's time to shine.
Oh, cool!
Nice, got the salvage arm down.
I got it down before he got the other thing back on. Here's where it gets difficult, though, because now he fires wildly.
Now you just give him hell and you got him.
Yes!
Nice. Nicely done.
Woo! Zonus, man. Woo!
The back-to-back of Aquas and that it's quite tricky, but
Yeah.
you showed him how it's done.
Yeah, I know, Slippy. I'm having some trouble too. Man, Peppy is chilling.
Cat, where'd you go?
Rocco's not doing too bad either. Hey, see, Slippy, you're okay now. Look at you. Look at you go. Look at you go, you handsome frog, you.
Slippy's great. Slippy gets too much hate.
I do like Slippy. Oh, man. On to Sector Z. But first, we gotta save Slippy in the alternate timeline.
Yes.
Let's create a spend point there. Okay. So up to you. And load that.
Okay.
So now we see the second vehicle of the game. Likely what most people who play in this game will see first.
Yes.
Too dangerous there.
And we got Peppy back. So how it will happen if you lose your wingmates? They will come back after a stage. They got to take a little bit of time in the shop.
Yeah, a little bit.
Perhaps talk to Uncle Grippy to get some repairs done.
Oh man, Uncle Grippy.
Deploy the land back there.
I don't understand why Grippy was necessary when Beltino was also a character, but you know, what do I know?
Beltino is also far cooler than Grippy.
Indeed.
Give me Flippy's location, Rob.
Hover. Not, right. I always forget that the hovering is a very slow ordeal here.
Oh yeah, there's mines.
There we go.
I love the idea that Andros had all these weapons just in case you went the wrong way, which is this is the wrong way.
He's a very enterprising man. He really wants that whole galaxy taken over.
I love that little banter where Falco's like, he's like, why don't you come down here? He's like, I'll pass first.
Uh-oh, a little bit of lag. But we'll make it. We'll make it. Alright, I'm in a bad way. Come on, give me that. Oh, shoot, I thought I hit all three of them.
Oh, these jumping mines are something. You know, for being on easy route level, this level is actually somewhat difficult.
Yeah, the different vehicle physics always trip me up. I'm not a big fan of how I'd certainly prefer this to the Aquamarine, but
Yeah, for sure. I actually much prefer the Macbeth level. Mainly because I like
yeah.
trains, but
Macbeth is that's a really great set piece. You're
oh
basically
yeah.
you're basically pursuing this enormous train and you're going through this train yard and there's all kinds of gates to open and that's a great stage for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it does not have the added urgency. Oh, I made it out of the way of one mindset, but yeah, that
So I mean, it's
doesn't have
not
the added urgency as Slippy.
sure for sure.
That's too late. Give me that. Don't be dead, Slip. I agree with that. Alright, Rob, I'm not gonna ignore you this time. Hopefully. Thick bomb?
Falco. I'm on the ground.
Ooh, get there. Yes.
Nice one.
The unfortunate thing is sometimes you end up wanting to go for a ring and then you end up taking damage anyway.
What can you do? At least you got another life. He made flamethrowers. I wonder if they're into Flame Smash.
You know, Fling Smash is such a meme, but I've never actually played it.
Played a little bit of it. It's okay.
Lag. Yeah, I need some silver rings. We really don't need any more. Now this boss always gives me trouble.
This is a hard boss.
You gotta be very nimble for this one. Uh-oh. Slippy's going for a ride. Uh-oh. A little bit of lag doesn't help either, but we'll fight through for Slippy. Oh, I always forget he's got that. He's got all those tricks up his sleeve.
That's a good one.
Do some damage there. Alright, we got Slippy freed. We gotta shoot for the rib cage here. Be careful of the tail.
Oh, that's not good.
And then he rebuilds his arms, but what? Nintendo's Switch Online is conspiring with the enemy, but
Ah!
get out there.
I forgot he had that beam attack.
I forgot about this hack too. This isn't looking too good for us here.
I've never heard Falco say that line. You're not leaving yet.
Oh, come on. Maybe we can use the lag as a bit of an advantage, actually.
That was a good one.
There we go.
Ooh, that seems to play.
Yeah. He caught me off guard for. Oh, I forgot he followed me. I need to debate.
Oh, you're done. No, you're done.
Come on. Yeah, there we go. There we go. You gotta learn the little intricacies of the bosses, how you can cheese them a little bit,
Yeah.
manipulate their patterns, get those openings. But
Whew.
I'm a
What
little
did I
bit
say?
rusty, but
Little-
we saved their boy. We saved their boy.
Yeah, he saved that boy.
Re- I'll never forget that retweet for that boy tweet Nintendo put out.
Oh man.
There's a couple infamous Nintendo of America tweets.
Oh yeah.
My favorite will always be the Waluigi Life of Pablo cover tweet. That one is wild.
Oh wow, I did forget about that one. So you mentioned it. That yeah, that was an interesting one.
It's so I'll never that one's seared into my head because Kanye West's Life of Pablo is one of my favorite albums of all time, and so imagine seeing Waluigi, especially if you know the context of what that was.
Right.
Waluigi with all the was is quite something, but we got our boy back. We're headed towards the end.
Both satellites, the second to last level. All right, let us make a suspend point. Nice. Swap to me. Oh boy, Sector Z gives me anxiety.
The enemy army is gunning for
You got this.
Be careful.
Don't worry, sir.
It should be a little easier, hopefully, because of I came here from Zonus, so I have a little extra backup for the last section.
I will say it's a little bit weird seeing everything so clearly. That cartridge fuzz. There's something very nice about that aesthetic, and here it's very stark. But
Indeed, yeah, I agree. It's very clear, and that's a good and bad thing, I'd say.
I tend to think it's quite good on the whole, but it definitely results in some weird moments.
Ooh, we are surrounded, and I am down to one laser. So hopefully I can. I don't know if it isn't all ranged the most, so I don't think so, but it'd be nice. Ooh, that's a gold ring, but oh, I forgot. They are aggressive in this level. Yep, they are indeed aggressive. Alright, let me go help Falco out. Ooh.
I think the game with the best all range. Well, I say this having not played Command. Command is the only Star Fox game I haven't played. But because Command, as far as I understand, is only all range missions, right?
Yes, for the most part. Yeah, 90% of it was all range. The only time you played like I guess the traditional Star Fox way was there's like missile missions where you had to like pursue a missile.
Yeah.
Speaking of missiles.
But the all range missions in Assault are very good.
Yes, I agree.
Particularly Orbital Gate Offensive, which is just a great. So good that it got its own Smash Wii U stage.
Indeed. Which I actually enjoyed. But I understand why it didn't come back.
Trying to play a little defense for the Great Fox.
Alright, one down. So he is. He's gone. Getting the high score in this mission is pretty tough because you basically gotta like nail as many of these fighters down as you can early before the missiles comes you, because you won't have time when the missiles come. Alright, here we go.
Heading for the missile now.
Uh-oh, and more reinforcements come to join them.
I won't let you get away from me.
Fox, get this guy out.
Slippy, I thought you were heading toward the missile.
Take care of the guy behind me.
Flippy's gonna have to fend for himself.
Yeah, I'm Slippy. You're gonna have to hold on for a second.
One missile down.
Oh, Falco! Hello!
Fox, get this guy off.
There we
Shoot!
Take care of the guy behind
No, hell no! No, where's the missile?
Uh-oh.
Oh Should I? Should I do the mission over? What do you
I
think?
say just go for it.
What do you mean go for it? Do it.
I just let it play.
Okay.
Show a little bit of the dynamic way the game moves.
Well, guys, I guess we're not doing the hard route. Oh
I,
no.
Because we weren't really gonna dip out of either of our respective routes just by nature of how we're gonna go through it, but now we get to show that off a little bit.
Oh man. Oh man, I haven't failed this in a while.
Is everything okay? Now they've done it. It could be difficult to attack Venom.
Yeah, it could be difficult to attack Venom.
Got it.
So, here's an interesting bit of context for everyone watching. The reason why we can't do the hard mission because the Grey Fox got damaged is because the mission we would have done if I hadn't lost it heavily involves the Grey Fox. So what Pepe said, it could be difficult to attack Venom. We have to do an easier route because now we don't have the Grey Fox to assist us with our assault on Venom. All right, so here's what I'm gonna here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to create a third suspend point.
Nice, yeah. Because I forgot that if you lose there, it just takes you back to the mission that I was in.
Yes.
I forgot that we basically are knocking on Venom's door here.
Yeah.
I thought there was a normal mission there in the middle, but no, we're going to the Wolsey Defense Outpost, which can be kind of an overwhelming stage at first, but it's actually quite easy.
Yeah. The one that I would have done if I passed Sector Z is challenging. It's very challenging.
Okay, guys, destroy all barriers.
So, order business 1 is to take out these rigs here. Now, with single lasers, it'll take a couple passes, but you can pretty comfortably just charge some shots, dodge some lasers.
Oh, will you, Falco? You cover us?
You're not getting away that easy.
Weaken them up a little bit. There goes one.
Thanks, Slippy. You're aggressive. Your carcass is mine.
There goes two. Another pass on that one, but yep, goes three.
You're not getting away that easy.
Some dumb enemy took my lock-on away. Sad. That's fine. With the motion of the stage, I find it easiest to just ride with it and make a couple of laps.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not getting away that easy.
Is that all of them? No. Then I'll have to go take out some of those extra pillars and get some health back. Now all of the guys fly out and the big pillar comes up in the middle, and it's actually not that bad. You'll see, but have to recharge a little bit. Flippy's getting in trouble again. Looks like Peppy might be also. Slippy, I'm coming. There we go.
Nice one. Oh, our friend Pigma's here to finish the job by himself.
And he's not gonna do too well. Because keep in mind, Pigma is the only one I didn't defeat back on Fortuna.
Right.
But
Why now?
where are you, buddy?
Going
I have to
after
say, I
Pepe.
forgot about this because I usually I'm gonna lose my mind with these stick combinations here. I literally cannot pull off the somersault. We can just take our time here. There we go. Okay. I'm coming, Peppy. Who's on you? Oh, just one guy?
And it's
Oh, it's
Pigma.
Pigma. It's Pigma.
Pigma always bullies Peppy.
Oh. If only I had a bigger laser. That's fine.
Imagine not only betraying your best friend, but when given the chance, you distinctly target him to kill.
Yeah, the backstory of these characters is messed up.
Yeah.
Get this guy off me!
Now, under rare circumstances, it's possible for a member of the Star Fox team to tail a Star Wolf team member and do damage to them.
Yes, but
Once upon a time on one fateful route, I actually had Slippy take out Pigma.
it's very rare that they do anything nearly that helpful.
Exactly. Oh, dude, did what I just described has that happened? Yo, Peppy is on Pigma.
Hell yeah!
Peppy is on Pigma. Oh
Let's
my
go.
god. So if you leave him to do it, he might take out Pigma.
Yeah, well, you know what? Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
He might take out Pigma for you, because he's on him.
Get this guy off!
We'll leave those two to their own devices. We will.
That
we'll-
that is such poetic justice if he actually does it.
break off and get some rings. One dumb
You
enemy.
just
trying to follow
did
me.
the somersault.
Yeah, I got it figured out now. Finally.
Get this guy off me!
Far after I needed
Yo,
it. but
he
I-
did it. He did it.
Did he really?
Yeah, Peppy said, "I got the last one." I've never heard him
That's
say that, but
awesome.
but he's not on the screen. He did it.
Damn! Look at that. Getting revenge for his past and also for Fortuna.
That's crazy.
I guess not.
Oh, you better
I gotta be
get that.
careful. Yeah, I gotta be careful now.
You got your wing back with no health.
These turrets around the periphery give you health.
They are. But you gotta survive.
They're not gonna hit me. Oh well, then I'll just run into something and lose that again. It's fine.
He's on the ball. Slippy's about to die.
I think there's one more left. Hello? Get off my tail, please.
Get this guy off me!
Come on.
I'm hit!
Slippy, you're fine. Doing this with one laser is so lame. I'm not gonna make it. Oh, we'll see.
Get this guy off me!
You're pretty close to finishing off the tower, I think. I think that's the last
Yeah,
one. Nope, no, it is not.
it is not, unfortunately, but I just need a little bit more health here.
Oh, you got knocked away from the health.
Yeah. I got two more missiles. Turrets I can take out for it. Oh, the health is gone. This is going so badly. And what? Alright, now there's one more.
Oh boy.
But I can't get too excited, as I just did. I thought I could clip it quickly, because usually I just have double missiles here, and it's fine.
Oh, let's go.
There we go.
Let's see, what time is
There
it?
we go.
So we're about 2 hours in. I think I'll just let you go ahead and do Venom.
All right, sounds good.
so we can get our quick multiplayers before we wrap
Okay.
up.
All right,
Oops.
we'll get those speed strats on Andross, and we'll call it a day here. We'll save the Lilat system one time.
Just one time. Just once.
Venom, here we come.
Maybe I'll show off the trending in another time, but yeah, we'll just do the easy route tonight then.
Sounds good.
There you
All
go.
right. Now, Venom is not the most geographically interesting level, but it's quite impressive how many enemies fly at you. It becomes a let's barrel roll a lot type of stage. And this one has the rare 2 bosses. Oh, come on, can I get it? No. It's alright.
I wonder if that's possible.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been able to hit it. But there are a lot of opportunities in this stage to get your missiles back.
Yes.
Oh, Flippy, I'm gonna pretend that was an enemy ship. I'll break right with Peppy.
That's right. So many versions of this level too.
Yeah, there's a lot of branching paths, a lot of enemies to be kamikazed by.
There's the wing.
Man.
Oof.
Yeah, it's alright. This one I always get ping ponged with moving around the edges of the different routes, but
Yeah. Some of the routes are harder than others.
I'm just gonna take that laser. Make my
Okay.
life a little bit easier.
Should help.
You'll be sorry,
Nice.
And just grab that and don't get smashed into the wall. Alright, Slippy, you're gonna have to stop getting in the way. We'll follow Falcons.
Love the confidence.
Go for it, Falco. We'll get knocked around a bit, but... Ooh, yes,
nice.
give me that, please. So that ended up working out well. We got one of the gold rings, which we'll...
Yeah, it's going. Oh,
Yeah, we'll max them out in a bit. Now we'll just do a little bit
I
of...
have never seen this before. What?
We just gotta do a little bit of careful flying and we'll be fine.
Oh my god.
Not quite like that, but... Yeah, the ones coming at you get a little bit more daunting than the others, but...
Oh wow.
There really is a lot in Venom. But now the team is away.
Yeah, they just left, but they flew fancy up there though. Well, they know what's going on in there, so they're probably like flying behind you. That's always my assumption, anyway.
Now this is a little bit of an interesting boss here. This guy has always annoyed me.
Oh, there's the wings.
You gotta be very careful.
We can just bomb the crap out of him.
Yeah. We're not actually gonna need bombs for Andros, so I don't really mind blowing him here. Damn. Pop those just before I could get him. But I like to just take this part nice and slow. Basically, as you'll see here, he's got like rocks on his various body parts. The head's always tricky to hit, but you clear off all those. Come on, get closer.
Now the head.
And with the head, we're gonna probably take a little bit of damage here. That's fine, because then we go through the tunnel of narrative where we hear a little bit from Andros, and then lag. Lag, making it.
Ooh,
Man.
the ping pong. Oh, there's a wing upgrade too.
Yeah. Yeah. Now we're fine.
Everything will be fine.
Going in here with 2 wings is fine.
That temple gives me the creep.
Ooh, laser upgrade.
So generous of you. Let's get that big midsection down. Hit you with a quick bomb too.
I love that
Because
by
we-
the time Slippy gives you his analysis, like,
By the
So
time
much
he
is-
gives the analysis, I try to be done, if not mostly done.
Here it comes.
yeah, about halfway.
And then he just starts throwing everything at you, so which is why the faster I can get this done,
It's crazy
Better.
this fight, because this fight is like he doesn't attack you directly. He just sends you in his funhouse.
yes,
Yeah.
he just gives you things to be hit by, which is, in my opinion, far harder.
Yeah, that's a
There we
good.
go.
That's a good safe spot.
Yeah. You kind of just got to know what to do, or you end up getting into
Ooh, I
big
think-
trouble like that.
Ooh, I think upward
Oh,
was
come
safe.
on.
Oh, look, it's right there. A guy reaching.
Are you okay?
Lose your head, lose your head, lose your head. There we go.
Now you can attack the sensor. There you go. This fight's almost over.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no, no,
Oh
no.
no, oh no, oh no.
Ah.
Oh no. I'm just getting rocked this evening. This is not my night.
You still got lives. Little eager there.
Yeah, I
Shoot.
I got plenty of lives at least. Yeah. Alright, well, third time's the try, I suppose.
You got this. The world is your oyster.
L. The L on the laser is doubly prophetic tonight.
Um,
Get it now, please. Here it comes.
we're getting there. No, 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 no.
Man. I just want to get to Andros and show that I know how to beat him quickly.
We're almost there. Oh. Oh.
Which, given how tonight has gone in general, I'm sure is not going to go well either.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay. I hear the wing. Good. That'll give you a little leeway to stay up.
Are you okay?
Come on, come on, come on.
Stay down. Nice. You got this. You got this now. You just gotta keep shooting. Essentially. There it is. It's done. Done. Dunzo.
He took the he actually beat me, so it took all the satisfaction out of it. But now we get on the tunnel of being talked at and finding the power-ups.
In you go.
In we go. Well, there's some stuff to dodge in here, but mainly it's just picking up things and... expository history about Andros and his evil plans and everything. But they really want to make sure you beat Andros, so they kit you out with what you're gonna need.
Oh sure. Music in this section is like very unsettling, as it should be. Man, ultra before the fight.
Yeah. Okay, and now Andros is annoying, so here's what you do against Andros. You shoot his eyes.
And annoy him. But nothing is more irritating than your eye not feeling good.
No. And then when you shoot his eyes, you shoot his hand. And as soon as you're done shooting his hand, you shoot his eyes. And then as soon as you're done shooting his eyes, you shoot his hand. And then as soon as you're done shooting his hand, you shoot his eyes. Eyes to hand. Hand to eyes. Back to the palm.
If only Slippy was here to give you his health.
Oh, you almost got to hit me. Nice try. Back to the eyes. And that should be enough. Close to it.
There you go.
And then he turns into a robot. Or in a second. Oh, you gonna eat me first? Okay.
You know the bomb
That's
trick, right?
fine. The bomb trick? I always just shoot his eyes here again.
Ooh, you have lost both your wings.
How about we just do that? now you just
Cyborg
gotta-
Andros. That's it.
And that's Andros. Andros is actually really easy. If I had shot the bomb the first time, I was trying to go for his eye again. If you shoot the bomb in the mouth, up, and then it gets easier. But the first couple times I played Star Fox, I just simply could not beat Andros. I could never do it, but as soon as you learn that his eyes are very, very weak, and then his hands become very, very weak, it's a very easy fight.
Sure. It makes it seem like it was such a hard fight because you lost both your wings.
Yes. Falco, I didn't do a great job, but you know what? We still saved the Lilac Galaxy. Now we get a very fun final cutscene.
Yeah, we did. Well, might as well enjoy the credits so we come successfully from our mission to Venom. It was a rough go, but we eventually saved the galaxy itself by defeating Andros, the real Andros. Totally was him. I mean, Andros was a cyborg all along. What do you mean?
And he totally never shows up ever again in Star Fox ever.
Not a single time.
But hey, we did it. We're seeing some credits. We get to recognize Koji Kondo for, as usual, his wonderful contribution to a Nintendo game.
Absolutely. So yeah, we're still gonna do a little bit of the multiplayer, but we can talk a little bit of our thoughts now as the
Yeah.
credits are rolling. Um, so obviously we both came into this game very positive. We had a lot of
Yes.
fun, and we're both definitely a bit rusty because we definitely bumped around a little bit
Yes.
to get to the ending. But you said you wanted to say some things about playing like the Switch version and whatnot. So tell me your
Yeah.
thoughts about the game in general as well as playing it on Switch. Like yeah.
So I will say that I just really don't like playing the game on Switch. It does not feel good to me with Joy-Con. I can't play nearly as well on Joy-Con. I just find that the button mapping of X and Y is not great, and then having to use the right stick instead of the C buttons for me it just doesn't work right.
Mm.
Um, so I find that I just play a lot worse and have a lot worse of an experience that way. But that's also predicated a lot on the fact that I play the game a lot elsewhere.
Sure.
And so, like, I know that to me it doesn't feel right, but it's kind of the thing with most of these games on Switch, wherein people who speedrun Ocarina of Time will say the frame delay is unplayable, but really, if you don't have that kind of experience, you're probably not going to be majorly affected by it. So that's certainly a mileage will vary thing, but I'd much rather play this game elsewhere. That said, I think it's still a masterpiece. I think it's still a ton of fun with some rough spots here with your Aquases or whatever, but on the whole I think it is a largely impeccably designed game.
Absolutely. Real quick, side note for everyone watching the credits. Yeah, this is a total nod to the beginning of or the ending of A New Hope, with them going to accept their medals.
Yes,
And there you got the character voices.
it gets very on the nose, but it is very fun. I always have a soft spot for this ending cutscene, and then you get, as we'll see in a second, actually there's a little bit more.
Yeah, this is
There's a little bit more credits to go, but then you'll see. It's a cool little moment if you're not familiar with the game. But no,
Sure.
I love I mean I love the aesthetic. I love the way the game moves. I love the soundtrack, the simplicity, but also dynamicism to the arcade gameplay in the sense that you can weave between paths and come into them, fall out of them. You can actually zigzag in really interesting ways, and I think all that just makes this such a timeless game, but just not a timeless game I like playing on this platform.
For sure. So I'll piggyback off that a little bit. Playing it I will say that with you playing with like the original controller with the N64 controller, it does make the experience a lot more smoother. It was a lot easier for me to kind of like get back into it, even though I am still very rusty. That I didn't do nearly as good as I usually do when I play Star Fox 64. So that being said, everything you said is of course extremely valid because not everybody was able to get their hands on this thing, and even if you could, it's $50. So you have to like be an enthusiast of the N64 to really justify that, and you've already paid extra to even get the expansion pack. So and then to get the control on top of it, it's a lot of money and a lot more that people would be willing to spend. I feel to get the optimum experience for the game. I would say. Now. That aside, as far as the game itself, the mapping is really where they really do need to like add a mapping feature, especially for a game like this that is so. It's so integral to be able to like move well in this game, and shoot well in this game. It's not as bad in say, I get to a lesser extent to Ocarina of Time because it's not as a fast-paced game. Same with Paper Mario, which just released in the service not too long ago. But that being said, it should still like play in a way that would be befitting of the kind of reaction that you would need for this kind of game. But with that aside, it is still a fantastic game to play. Like you said, the dynamicism of the fact that you have all these different routes to go through. It's a short game, so if you're just aiming to see credits, you'll do that relatively quickly. But there's so much replay value because oh whoa, Andros is still alive. Oh,
what?
What? No, what? Dang, I
Who
guess
could have seen that coming?
Shoot.
Man, his skin disappears to reveal a robot. I thought that was him.
Dang.
But we get to see. I love this right here. This is the detail I was noticing before because ultimately you're not part of the Cornerian army. You're some rogues for hire, and so you get a little bit of a payout here, and so you end the game by stamping on the dot and getting your payment.
And
So
what's cool is, ordinarily, let me just shift this over real quick. Ordinarily, when you get the invoice, there's nothing that really happens. But if you get a good score, you can even get General Pepper to say some stuff. Like, if your
Yeah.
score is a little higher than normal, General Pepper like, this is a steep bill, but it's worth it. But if you get like a really high score, General Pepper look at the bill and be like, what? He's like, hey,
Yeah.
General Pepper, it ain't cheap killing all these armies for you.
that's the thing. I feel like you should be grateful.
Yeah.
You got it.
Well, the
General
middle score, he
Pepper.
is grateful. Like, he's like, oh, there's a lot of money, but yeah, I guess we're safe now. But if you just, like, really lay into the army, he's just like, oh, man. It's like, okay, Abram, I know you've watched Star Wars, The Clone Wars, you being the massive Star Wars fan that you am. So,
Yeah.
there's an episode, I think in Season 3 of Clone Wars, where it's all about talking about deregulating the bank. And they talk about,
Yeah.
if we deregulate the bank, we'll have enough money to win the war. And Padme's impassioned speech is to the effect of, yeah, we'll win the war, but what will come of our economy if we just put every single one of our money towards the war efforts?
And then Padme starts saying that, and 8-year-old Abram watching Clone Wars goes like this.
Yeah, see those political episodes, the ones that dealt with that kind of stuff. It's very interesting that they got the okay to do those episodes, because that is
Yes.
100% for the older Star Wars fans that really care about the lore and that kind of stuff. Like, I think I was at the age, I was at just the age where I could appreciate those
Yeah.
episodes. But I feel if I was like a year or two younger, I would have been like, when's lightsaber fights and starship fights?
Yeah,
Like-
because this is not, now we're getting into a complete tangent here. We
Let's do
jump
it.
into verses as we're doing it, but like watching Rebels, I've actually finally finished Rebels just this year. And
Okay.
as an adult, I loved so much of the storyline where it's not just action. But when I was watching Clone Wars as a kid, whenever Padme and Jar Jar would step onto some planet to negotiate something, it would ruin my entire day. 'Cause I'm like, I'm waiting all week for Star Wars, and we're just gonna talk for half an hour. So my my appreciation for those facets of the series has grown a lot since
For
the
sure.
show was on air.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now, real quick, as we're starting up multiplayer, so something that's interesting is when you play multiplayer in this game, you don't actually choose your character. Rather, the character that you use is designated by what character slot you're in. So player 1 will always use Fox. Player 2 will always use Peppy. Player 3 will always use Falco, and player 4 will always use Slippy. So I guess the only way you can really select your character, so to speak, is to make sure you have the controller in the correct slot. In this case,
Yeah.
if you and I wanted to, it's not. They play exactly the same, so it doesn't matter. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna
it's
stick with Peppy.
aesthetic.
It's completely aesthetic. But yeah, if one of us say would really wanted to use another character, we would just just do the whole go here, switch to player 1, player 2, and then that'd be that. Anyway, we're doing a let's do a 3-point match. That
Sounds good.
and then we have 2 stages of 2 choices for the point battle, which is Cornelia Sector Z. I'm pretty sure that in one of the other modes that you can play on, you can also use Katina, I want to say, or is it Fachina? One or the other. Either way, I know Cornelia Sector Z isn't the only modes, but anyway. Let's go ahead and head over to Cornelia.
All right. Now, where multiplayer in Star Fox really gets good is in Assault.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, that's right, I'm using Fox. Okay. Also,
Where
I'm noticing that that probably because of the fact that there's multiple ships, the quality of the actual R-wings is scaled down a little bit. I'm noticing. I'm
Yeah.
looking, like they're not quite as detailed as they are in the Oof, you got me there. As they are in the story campaign mode. That's okay.
I forget. Can you find? Yes, you can. Because again, I'm quite the noob when it comes to this mode. None of the people I grew up with had enough taste to want to play Star Fox multiplayer with me.
It's true. I was never particularly good at that. I remember playing back in the day, back when Nintendo Wi-Fi was still a thing, playing the online mode of Star Fox Command on my DS with people online, and
Yeah.
getting absolutely stomped because they were just like excellent. Oh my god, you have a double laser? Oh well, I'm doomed.
Oh! I gotta get the heck out of here. Is there, can I find some power-ups? That bomb was... Oh!
Oh man. Uh-oh. Ah, big hit. Okay.
Are you on top of me? I can't tell. Oh! Oh, nice.
Ooh.
All right, I gotta be ready for the bomb on this next round.
Alright, be careful here. Okay. Oh, crap! Ah, I got myself out.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Oh! Oh, wait, no, it's clipped into the map. Can I
We'll see
grab
about
it?
that. We'll see about that. Darn, he got the laser.
Oh, I thought you were pursuing me more. You're going after the bomb. I don't know if I like that.
Ooh, dodged it. Alright, we're pretty even so far. Nice one. Nice one. Alright, let's go this way.
Tried to hit you with that fake out, but I'm not afraid of the bombs. I probably should be, but I'm not.
Okay. Alright, not bad. Too soon.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Ah! Okay. Twin ladies is brutal. Also, for everyone watching, when you first boot up multiplayer mode, you only have like R wings available. But if you fulfill certain conditions in the single player mode, it is possible to unlock landmasters and even on foot for these missions.
Which I have never gotten to play it.
I've managed to get landmasters because it basically requires you to get like a gold rank on like Venom, the hard version, which is actually not that difficult to do. But getting on foot requires you a gold rank on every single mission, which is significantly hard to do.
Come on. Oh. Where are you? There you are. Oh, shoot. That was a big hit. That was a really big hit. How'd you do so much damage?
Come on. Shut down. Alright.
Oh right, I forgot there's one more. It's not best of, it's
Oh yeah. You
first
got it.
two.
First one to take out the three does it.
Oh, I see it. I see it. I see it. I see it with the bomb. Oh! Oh! Damn, I think I dodged the core of it, but
Now let me grab those. Uh-oh.
where are you?
Cornered.
No, 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 no. Ooh, you went for the somersault. I've been trying to screen peek. Half of my time is spent looking at your screen, the other half time is spent looking at the map.
The Halo fans must love you. Ah, God! Oh no!
Yes, I'm a serial screen peeker. I used to annoy the hell out of my friends when we'd play split screen Star Wars Battlefront.
Oh God! Okay, okay. Oof, I almost hit the. Dang. I'll give it to you. You're good at the pursuit game.
Oh, that was mistimed. That was mistimed. That was mistimed. Okay, there we go. Half of the game is just juggling. Is juggling your somersaults because these actions are on basically a cooldown,
Yep.
and so I'm not afraid.
Ooh, that did not play out the way I thought it was going to.
You know you got that bomb, but you know I'm too slippery.
Oh yeah.
I gotta bank harder. Ooh. Where is it?
Oh no, lag! Oh, whew. That's not good.
I see it with those bombs.
Now or never.
Ooh. Oh, that was big damage. I shouldn't have let that happen.
Okay. Get him, Dad. Get him. Fire!
Man.
What the? What? Oh no, it's over. Ah, I crashed it.
Oh, shoot.
Peppy wins. Woo! That was fun. Let's hit the. Oh, you have control.
Oh, do I?
I think you do. Yeah. Versus menu. Let's see what else we got. We can probably do one more of a different battle royale. I don't think that's just gonna do that much if we're doing it's only 2 people. What is time trial? I actually don't know what that is. Let's take a peek.
Okay.
Ah, there we go. See, there's a Katina. Okay. Let's see. 3 minutes sounds fine. To
Yeah.
Katina.
I would assume that this is just us versus each other for 3 minutes, and most KOs wins, but we'll find out.
Ah,
Oh,
okay. We're competing
okay.
to take down enemies. Well, this is kind of cool. Now, we can attack each other as well, as I'm assuming. But the point is to take out the most enemies in the time. Damn.
you get that bomb again, but I'll take the lasers over the bomb any day.
Man, I would have too.
As soon as I realized what the mode is, I knew I had to beat you to him.
Oof. Oh! Uh-oh. Momentum. Point for Bill. Point for Bill.
Oh, now you're ahead in points again. I gotta catch up. My only hope is that I'm gonna get a point bonus. How'd you get over there?
It's a
Oh, it's
endless-
Pac-Man rules.
Yes, exactly. Ooh.
Oh. Darn, I thought I was about to shoot you down. I was hoping... My hope was I was going to get some points to take some away.
I actually don't know
my-
how that works.
My strategy was for naught.
Ah, it is what it is. Man, that was a lot of fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
I 100% want to do that with other people, like a full 4. That would be sick. Oh my god.
Yeah, 4
That would-
players, so that would be a ton of fun.
Oh yeah. And with that, let's go ahead and do our final review. We've said a lot of our thoughts already, but we'll
Yeah.
go ahead and like summarize the finales here. Whew. Man, it does. We've been streaming for about 2.5 hours. It really doesn't even feel like it. That's
Yeah.
I think that says a lot about like the quality of this game and just how much fun. Like I know I had a good time going through that.
For sure, yeah, me too.
As someone who really hasn't experienced the multiplayer mode all that often with other people, like, yeah, just that little taste there, it just really makes me think of like it's fun enough with like 2 people, but imagine that just like going to like 3 or even 4, just like insanity. And there's like
Yeah.
a good modes, like you have battle royale where everyone's against each other, point match where you're just like trying to kill each other for points, and then the time travel where you're just competing to take down some ships. They're all fine
Yeah.
modes, and again you can augment them with the unlockables if you so choose. But if not, the standard R wing is plenty, honestly.
For sure.
Yeah, so this game is a great package. It expanded upon what the original Star Fox did with its single player modes, having the branching paths, even more so than the original Star Fox in a big way, I would even say.
Definitely.
It took advantage of the hardware, having a robust 4-player mode. Of course, like we've mentioned, Assault took that even further, in my opinion. Assault has a very fun multiplayer. I've played that a lot. But 64 laid some good groundwork for that as well with its multiplayer. And yeah, like, so we played Star Fox 2 last season, and we saw all the ideas that were going to be in that game back when it didn't originally release, how it transferred over here with Star Wolf team and some of the planets, and then the multiple playable characters. It's great to. And many people still hold Star Fox 64 as the pinnacle of the series, and it's quite deservingly so. It's not my personal favorite. Like my personal favorite is Assault, but in terms of just like the solid gameplay, the fluidity of moving your ship and going through these simple but effective levels, 64 definitely has that in spades. What are you thinking?
No, I mean, I agree with you completely. I think it's the best. I think it's the purest, and that's what makes it so successful. I really like Assault too, but Assault widens the formula in a way I think it was necessary for its growth, but it ended up feeling not as focused as this. This game, razor focused. It's got all these options, all of these, branching paths, multiple, facets through single player, multiplayer, but it remains very clear in what it wants to accomplish. And I think that in terms of arcade rail shooters, it only gets better with Sin and Punishment, but I always personally like this game more. But this is right up there, the pinnacle of the genre, and I think certainly the pinnacle of the series.
Agreed, agreed. And what's funny? This would be, to my knowledge, the last Star Fox game that was made purely by Nintendo and Nintendo EAD team, because Adventures was, of course, made by Rare. Assault was assisted with Namco. Command was done by QSoft, I want to say, was the developer.
Yeah,
64 3D was done by Grezzo, who did the remakes of the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, respectively. Zero was co-developed with Platinum Games. So this is the last time that Nintendo by themselves made a Star Fox game,
yeah.
and it does make me wonder a little bit, like if they really just like focused in and just made it themselves, would it be enough to make the series come back to a resurgence, capture the same kind of magic that 64 did? I don't think it's impossible. I know 64 has put things to like a almost impossible standard, but I don't think it's impossible that it could be surpassed in some way. I know a lot of people, very topically, still say Ocarina of Time is their absolute favorite game. I know Breath of the Wild shifted some opinions toward that as well, and a lot of people that put Breath of the Wild as their favorite. There's all kinds of schools of thought on this. I'm just saying, what I'm saying really get what it really comes down to is Nintendo making another Star Fox game, please.
I love that. I love that.
uh, so with all that said, yeah, this game holds up. This game holds up. That it's not only a damn good Star Fox game today. It's again, I just said it's most people consider it the best in the series. So that says a lot about how viable it still is to play these days, even with the flaws of the NSO and such as it is. You still have a good experience playing this game
Yeah,
without question. It's I would say it's pretty essential even to at least give this game a try. And as you mentioned when we even started playing during that training session, you learn everything about the game you need to right there. And some of it, if you're doing the easy route, you won't even need to know all of it really, because there's enough there that you can just at least see the credits. If you go to those harder
yeah.
missions, then of course that will reward you for your mastery of the game. But you haven't. There's enough there that you can enjoy the game and see the credits. And I can say that honestly because I played this game when I was not even 10, and at least got through the easy route. When I got a little better, a friend of mine helped me get to the hard route, and I'll always remember that. But it's that little progression. This game is short, but it has so much to it on both a single player and multiplayer fronts. I can't recommend it enough. It really does give me hope that hopefully the Star Fox series makes a grand return.
I agree. I echo everything you said.
Beautiful. Well, with that, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up for tonight. So I want to thank everyone for coming out for this very special episode of Desert Hope. It was very special to me. Thanks again for coming, Abram. It
Of
was.
course, anytime.
But you'll be back literally tomorrow because for everyone
Yeah.
watching, we got our finale of our HB Criticals Tea Time Tuesday with featuring Mario Golf Super Rush. Yeah, we've pretty much played all the DLC courses, though we are going to be doing the pro version of the newest course that got it. I forgot what it is. It's the one that has nothing but part threes. But we're going to be
Sure.
doing that, the pro version of that course. We're going to be doing one of the new modes that they added, and then we're going to be finishing it up on a full 18 on Bowser's Highlands, which is the last course in the base game. I figured that would be a good place to end things off, and the course is probably going to be the hardest in the game since it's Bowser, because anything involving Bowser just just
Yeah.
raise difficulty. So there you go. So that's going to be tomorrow, 8 p.m. It'll be myself. Abram will be joining us. We will also be joined by fellow writer of HP Critical, Rodrigo, aka Staff Thermel. And we'll also be joined by my good friend Sterling Silver. It'll be us four golfing it up on the links one last time. It should be a lot of fun. Again, 8 p.m. tomorrow. And that's going to be the last stream of this night because, hey, this is Christmas week. Christmas is literally Saturday. It's snuck up on everyone. Hope you all got your Christmas shopping done. I did because, it's crazy out there in the world. I had to make sure all my shopping was done early so that no one would be disappointed waiting on any shipping or whatever. So that's all taken care of. I hope everyone has done the same. If not, what are you doing watching this? Go to a store right now. In fact, wait, don't do that. It's almost 11. Go tomorrow morning. Call in for work. Do what you got to do.
I might have done my Christmas shopping this morning. Can't confirm or deny, but I might have done that this morning.
Hey, if it's done, that's all that matters. That's all that matters as far as I'm concerned. But thanks everyone for coming out. And hey, if you enjoyed the stream, definitely check out our website, hpcritical.com, because we got all kinds of articles on gaming, anime, books, and much, much more. And our site does get updated quite often, so you can check all that cool stuff out. But before I plug anything else from us, Abram, where can people find you and where can they find your awesome work?
So the nexus of all of my content can be found by just looking up Abram Buehner on Twitter. Usually a hub for all of my stuff. But beyond that, you can find me at Backlog Banter, backspace log space banter, where myself and three of my good friends do all kinds of great gaming and film coverage. If you want some of my more professional work, you can check out retroware.com, where I'm writing about retro titles and indies all the time. Sterling Silver, now also retroware writer, so that's a fun little connection between us. So we'll plug it again tomorrow night. But you can also find me in the pages of Ninty Fresh Magazine, and if you watch a live stream like this, you're going to care about Ninty Fresh Magazine. We are a print publication covering Nintendo from NES to now, as our slogan goes. I'm biased, but I think it's a fantastic product, so if you're curious, there you can go to nintyfresh.net to buy yourself a back issue, or drop us a follow on Twitter and see what we're up to there. But that's where you can find me.
Awesome. Yes, definitely check all that good stuff out. It is great work. It is fantastic content. Check it all out. Oh, and I forgot to mention, for what's going on next week on Does It Hold Up? You mentioned earlier that you and your good friend Tucker are going through Sin and Punishment for review. It just so happens that I don't have a specific day at the moment just because my schedule is kind of all over the place, but it is intended next week. I'm going to be joining my friend Toby, and we're going to be playing Sin and Punishment for the next episode of Does It Hold Up? So stay tuned on our social media so you guys can be up to date of when that episode is going to come out. So you guys can check us out on Instagram at HPCritical Gaming. We're on Facebook at HPCritical, and we're on Twitter at critical_HP. You can follow any of those for up-to-date information on us. We do update our stream schedule every Sunday, so if you check out any of those social medias on Sunday, at some point you will see a post showing what the stream schedule is for that week, so you guys can know when Sin and Punishment is happening and any other streams that may be popping up that week. So just wanted to put that out there. Anyway, going back to the website, hpcritical.com, I mentioned all of our articles that you can check out while you're there. You can also sign up for our newsletter. That'll give you monthly emails on everything that we're up to, all the cool stuff we're doing. And we also have a Teespring store where you can get yourself some cool merchandise like t-shirts, mugs, hoodies, blankets, and much, much more in all kinds of different colors. So you guys can check that out. And if you like our work, you can support us at patreon.com/hpcritical. A lot of benefits for supporting us there. You get goodies every month. And you can even be in our podcast that we do every week. So if that interests you, check that out. And that's pretty much all the stuff I got for the website. If you want to follow me personally, I'm at Mr. Louis Don on Twitter. If you want to see my gaming takes or just random mumblings on whatever interests me, I guess. I don't know. I was reading My Hero a few weeks ago. Caught up. It was great. I might be starting a new manga soon if you guys want to hear updates on that. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Thank you guys again for coming out tonight. You will see the both of us soon as well as others. Until then, we bid you all a good night. Bye.